to my channel. Today I have a July message for all of the Sagittariuses out in the collective. Please note, this is going to be a general reading, so it is not going to resonate with every single Sagittarius out in the collective. I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are new to my channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, and a sound healing practitioner. So without further ado, Sagittarius, let's go ahead and dive right into your July message. I want to point out here that you can see here, Sagittarius, that we are in a little bit of a different setup. So I ask that you just please be patient with me as we make some changes here in my home. So Sagittarius, we are starting out with to the sea. You are going somewhere. Love. Oh my goodness. And physical activity. Okay, Sagittarius. This is an absolutely beautiful message for you for this July. I just want to point this out. So right at the heart of your reading, we have love. And I just want you to focus in on this beautiful card here, because this card truly speaks about unconditional love. It speaks about self-care. It speaks about giving to oneself the type of comfort, the type of love and consideration and appreciation that one needs. I really feel that this is truly about divine feminine energy sort of rising deep within you here. And I do feel that this is also speaking about self-care. I do feel that for some time now here, Sagittarius, your messages have really been speaking a lot about you going on a journey. And I feel that your journey is deep within. I love how this to the sea card is pointing towards the love card, which truly signifies the amount of self-care, the amount of effort that we put into our own growth and our own relationships, even the relationship that we have with ourselves here. Physical activity is also coming up here because it is a part of our self-care. Maybe you're not actually putting in enough time for your self-care. Maybe you're not getting enough physical activity. And maybe this is your guides and your angels' way of letting you know that you need to really stop putting yourself on the back burner. And you need to start giving to yourself the type of nutrition, the type of care, the type of love and appreciation that you ultimately need. Because as you go through this introspection, as you go through this evolution of your own growth, you're going to need those reinforcements. You're going to need those. And your guides want you to understand that you play just as much a part of your own growth as they do. Okay. So we have the Seven of Pentacles here. Sorry about that. So we have the Seven of Pentacles here, and this is really truly talking about the contemplation, right? You're really needing, to think about all of the energy and the time that you're putting into yourself, like this self-work, right? You also have the Ace of Cups here, right? So this tells me that out of everything that you are being presented or everything that you are currently working on, self-care and self-love is not your top priority. And I don't feel that it has been for some time here, Sagittarius, because it's, a lot of times when the Seven of Pentacles comes up, it's because we're needing to really think about everything that we've been working on, or all of the energy that we've been putting our attention to, and we're asking ourselves, is it worth it? Am I reaping the rewards that I ultimately want? Is this putting in too much effort and I'm not getting the type of results that I ultimately want? When it comes to self-care and self-love here, it's really about the time and the energy. It's not about what it gives you and how quickly it gives you something. It's about the growth. It's about the time and the consistency, the effort that goes into caring for oneself, loving oneself, nurturing oneself. I want you to understand here, Sagittarius, that you are moving towards your rite of passage. And when you get presented with this opportunity, The one thing that you have to remember is that you have to leave everything behind. When you go on your rite of passage, and this is part of your growth and your evolution spiritually, you have to leave everything behind because you have to start fresh. You have to start new. That means that any ideas, any beliefs that you have related to your own self-worth and your own self-care need to be wiped clean, right? They need to be viewed. They need to be examined here with the moon card. Because what it's saying is that the deeper that you dive into your dreams and your illusions, the more you will be able to recognize what is true and what is not. Understand that when the moon comes up, it represents the secrets, right? The things that we often don't want to view or see because we have a fear of what it might truly represent in our life. And the thing that you have to really see here is that our thoughts can often lead us to very dark places. And those dark places are often the places that is the last place we ultimately want to be, Sagittarius, because we don't know how we could potentially get out of that dark place. But there is one thing that can ultimately lead you out of that dark place, and that is love. It is pure, genuine, unconditional love for oneself. That is what can truly help you sort of come up from that dark place that has sort of, kept you sort of wandering out in the sea of your emotions, right? So maybe you have a fear that if you go deeper, you might not be able to get out, right? I think a lot of times some people do feel their thoughts tend to overtake them in a way that they feel that the more that they focus on the negative, the deeper that they go into their emotions, the farther that they go, that they travel, and it's a lot harder for them to come to the surface. A lot of times, I've had some coaching clients that have told me that it feels like I'm drowning, right? I'm drowning in my own emotions. And the thing is that a lot of times we have these preconceived ideas or beliefs that our emotions are bad, that when we have certain emotions that it's considered wrong and that we shouldn't have those, thoughts or those desires, or we should feel that way. But the reality is that our emotions are beautiful. It's what makes us human, right? Because we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And so this is why being aware of our emotions and being in tune with our emotions and understanding our emotions is so important, because it's what makes us human. It helps us restore balance in our physical body. It helps us understand how the waves of those emotions flow in and out of our life, and how to find the balance and sort of come into union with those emotions. I do want you to understand here, Sagittarius, that you will overcome this darkness that has sort of surrounded you at this time. I feel like you're needing to really shine a light on these deep, dark secrets that you have been keeping hidden. And I think that you might feel that out of sight, out of mind kind of mentality, that it truly won't exist because you won't be able to truly see it, but that isn't the case, okay? I really want you to understand that. You need to really stand at the forefront of your own emotions, of how you truly feel about yourself, so that you can, once you shine that light, so that you can stand proud and say, this is something that I have overcome. I've overcome this because I'm worth it. I'm worthy of being able to love myself genuinely and authentically for exactly who I am, and not place judgment on who I am. With the Four of Wands and the Hierophant here, understand that the Hierophant is all about traditions, it's about hierarchy, and it's about higher lessons, right? The spiritual lessons that we often have. You know, you might have some foundational beliefs, maybe some foundational traditions that were passed on to you from how you grew up in your family that really made you look at self-care and self-love and self-nurturing in a very awkward way, right? It might have turned you off to that. And maybe that's why it's so off-putting to you. But again, when we go on this journey towards our rite of passage, we are ultimately shining the light on all of the patches in our life that are void of light. And our goal is to heal that here with the star. Our goal and our mission is to shine a light on those places, those patches within us that are void of light, that ultimately need light. Light is a part of darkness. We just don't see it that way. And in order for us to truly find harmony within ourselves, we have to recognize that darkness is a part of us. It doesn't mean that we have to completely eradicate darkness. It means that we have to be in balance with the darkness. So we now have the Queen of Cups here with the Nine of Wands. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I feel that intuitively here, Sagittarius, you're needing to really confront your dark emotions, the emotions that you really push aside. For some of you, it could be fear. For some of you, it could be anger. For some of you, it could just be this sense of apathy. Whatever it might be, I feel like you're needing to really push yourself a little bit more towards truly identifying when those emotions come up and figuring out how to heal those emotions. Because I feel like whenever you get resistance, you sort of only push so far and then you just sort of stop. You don't push any further. The Nine of Wands here really is about, you know, moving beyond our perceived limitations. Maybe you feel like you can only go so far, and that might be the case. But you're needing to sort of step outside of your own perceived limitations. You're needing to step outside of your comfort zone in order to continue to build for yourself, okay? Because I feel like a lot of times you have two nines here, which means that in order for you to have this wish fulfillment, in order for you to have the wish fulfillment and the joy that you are ultimately seeking in your life, you have to recognize that it's going to take a little bit more work on your part. It's going to be exhausting. It's going to be tiring. But you're needing to move past your own limitations. It's like you get to the threshold and then you stop here. So again, you need to take a leap of faith. You need to trust yourself. You need to surrender to what transpires with this here, Sagittarius. I do feel that you will be successful. I do feel that you might be exhausted. You might be tired. You might feel like you're repeating everything all over again. But I feel that if you give it one more shot, if you take a leap of faith, if you let go of your expectations of being completed by a certain timeline, if you sort of surrender the outcome and just allow it to be what it is, I think that you'll be very surprised at how far you'll actually go. So Sagittarius, this is your message this month. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys.